around with who know me and know what I'm about and whatever. And anybody else who doesn't like it or doesn't want it,
there comes a day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre, being like average, it just burns and sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day. And you get off your and you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out. But you've never wanted to unwrap it because it's too much pain and commitment. You were scared you were going to fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it until something hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success, remind you of what you could have been. And then the spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never going to be in this boat again. And you get up and you go, even if it gets knocked down, you just keep going. You're a wild man. And life has never been so sweet.
And you learn from those mistakes. Those failures that you have are so consequential. And then you don't want that to happen again. So you gotta either quit or get way better.
This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it. Period.
You have to take a path of discipline.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing.
Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
And this thing that people do, they avoid discomfort. It sounds ridiculous, but it just creates more discomfort. You don't realize that in embracing discomfort and forcing yourself to do something very uncomfortable that you can control, like an ice bath, like a sauna, like a run, like a workout, you are eliminating another form of discomfort. I torture myself physically. I'm always working out. I'm always exhausted. I'm always taking ice baths. I was in the sauna before I got here today. I'm always doing something. Always. I never have a day where there's not some kind of struggle. If I have a day where I just lay around, I'm like, this is weird. Like, it's one of the things that I have to do on vacation. When I get up in the morning, whenever I'm on vacation, the first thing I do is work out. I'm like, I gotta do this, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to enjoy this time off with my family. I gotta get up before everybody else, and I gotta work out hard.
Look, when you're a kid, you're all potential. It's chaotic potential. It can manifest itself in any number of ways. And maybe you don't want to give that up. So you're like Peter Pan. You want to be a kid forever because you don't want to give up the potential. And you look out in the world and all you see are Captain Hooks, who've lost a hand, who are chased by death because that's the clock in the crocodile. It's already got a taste of him. He's terrified by death and he's a tyrant. But I don't want to grow up to be that. So I won't be disciplined at all. Well, that's no good. Because the way the potential transforms itself into actuality is through discipline.
And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that I have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. It's always one brick. I believe, and I learned very young, that you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day, and soon you have a wall.
You write that motivation is crap.
It's crap.
Yes.
Right.
What do you mean?
Motivation is killing. So basically, what it is I may motivate some people today for this 4 minutes I'm on TV.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Great. But let's say it's real cold out in New York City. Let's say it's 30 degrees. You go outside, you get your gloves on, you go for a 5-mile run.
You're going to forget everything you said.
Everything I said is gone. That's motivation.
So you're right about how Rocky motivated you. That movie motivated you, but you had to take it that next step. So how do you do that then?
Well, the thing about it is, it's about being driven almost to the point where you're obsessed. When you get to that point of being driven and possibly obsessed, You no longer care if it's 30 degrees outside.
And then the next day comes and you're back playing again. You understand that life has this cyclical nature where it's, you know, what you do on Monday is fantastic, but then Tuesday is a bad day. But guess what? There's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So are we just supposed to live our lives like this the whole time? You know, versus just staying like this and understanding that it's really just a journey of evolution every day. It's just constant improvement, constant curiosity, constantly getting better. The results don't really matter. It's the figuring out that matters.
Yeah, and we all get obsessed about the results. Now we get obsessed about like the output,
Yeah.
not the input, not figuring it out and not like changing things. We're used to trial and error, like the experiment.
If there's potential inside you, which you know it's there, but you're too scared to tell anyone else about it, and you go on, get older and older and older and older, and the windows of opportunity start to close, and you knew it could have been given birth to, but you never did it, I promise you, it will haunt you. It'll be more, it's a living nightmare, dude. That fact that you have the ability to do something and you're too weak to turn the key and start the engine on it is a greater disappointment and a greater burden to carry than any of this physical sweat equity or pain in the gym or sacrifice. All that is just nothing compared to a life where you're burdened by regret, guys.
Emotions come and go. The important thing is to accept them all, to embrace them all, and then you can choose to do with them what you want versus being controlled by emotion. You know, a lot of times I've seen players, even myself, you know, when I was younger, being consumed by a particular fear, and to the point where you're saying, okay, nah, it's not good to feel fear. I shouldn't be nervous in a situation right now. And it does nothing but grow. Versus stepping back and saying, yeah, I am nervous about the situation. Yeah, I am fearful about the situation. But what am I afraid of? And then you kind of unpack it. And then it gives you the ability to look at it for really what it is, which is nothing more than your imagination running its course.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that because what you're saying is that when you're dealing with something, it's almost like, how can I get to the root of it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes what we're dealing with, like you're saying, it's an imagination, an illusion. It's not really.
It's not really a thing.
Or next time you're facing a fear, next time you're going against something, do that. Like literally unpack it. Don't just settle for your first answer because the first answer is rarely the right one.
Don't hide from it. You know, you got to be able to look at it and, you know, and deal with it head on.
Yeah, I love that, man.
I don't know what to do. It's like, that's okay. Nobody does. Go do something. Do the best thing that you can think of. Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect, and it will change along the way. But it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans.
I've never really viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working. Our minds are like a garage. And the garage, if you open a garage that's all cluttered up, it's all up, you can't put your car in there. You got boats and you got kids' toys and shit everywhere. But if you organize that garage and you put everything in its rightful spot, you can pull that car in there. You can put 2 cars in there. You can put bikes in there. And that's like with the mind. People talk about discipline and determination and, you know, repetitions and all this shit. Consistency. Why people fall off the wagon so often is because their mind is full of shit. There's no room in that mind for discipline. There's no room for consistency. They may do it once or twice, but then the mind takes over and that cluttered garage comes in, and then it's like a circuit breaker, man. A circuit breaker just overloads sparks. And our minds, that's our mind, man. It's like a circuit breaker. That's so much shit. You keep on loading it, you can't put any more into it. Clearing space in your mind so that you have room for all those disciplines. Waking up early, taking those, because they do mean something. But we don't get to that dark matter that is keeping you from clearing out that mental garage.
The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, that want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft.
Well, I don't know what to do. It's like, that's okay.